Okay, we are back. This is Doc from BarcastAudio here again today with another MBE bar exam question of the day. For those of you who don't know, I'm from BarcastAudio. We have audio outlines, essay attack sheets, everything you could possibly need to pass the bar exam over at BarcastAudio.com. Links in the description below if you're interested in tutoring sessions. We have spots that are filling up, so please email the email in the link below as well. So let's jump into today's question of the day. I've got some comments about people wanting me to put the description or the subject in the question itself or in the description of the video. I'm hesitating to do that because I think that part of what's important with these questions is that you're able to identify what the subject is. So for now, I'm going to hold off on doing that, but it's something I'll think about in the future as we get a little closer to exam day. But for now, today's question of the day will be as follows. A physician who was called as a witness by a defendant was asked to testify as to statements made to the physician by her patient for the purposes of obtaining treatment. Which of the following is the best basis for excluding evidence of the patient's statements in a jurisdiction with a doctor-patient privilege? A. Objection by the physician based on privilege against communications made by a patient. B. Objection by the plaintiff's attorney on the grounds of the doctor-patient privilege. C. Finding by the judge that the patient left the office without actually receiving treatment. D. The assertion of a privilege by the patient's attorney present at the trial as a spectator at the patient's request and allowed by the trial judge to speak. So think about this one. I'm going to add a quiz in the description of this video below. Feel free to move that one. The answers in the quiz are going to be a little bit abbreviated because YouTube only allows me to put so many words and so many characters into each of these answers, so understand that one. Okay, so obviously this was an evidence question. They're really asking you about privileges and what can keep evidence out of the courtroom. If you're somebody who jumped and saw, all right, this is obviously an evidence question, kudos to you, you're obviously in a good place. This is kind of an easier, more straightforward answer, even though the phrasing itself is a little bit convoluted. So sometimes in the evidence questions, because the hypos are not as long, you always have to watch out for confusing phrasing and for them trying to throw you off with stuff like we kind of saw in this one. So this one's a little bit confusing in terms of the actual explanation. The correct answer to this one is D. The doctor-patient privilege is held by the patient, not the physician. So that's really important. A lot of times you'll get this sort of throw-off answer where a physician is attempting to assert a doctor-patient privilege, but it's not really their right to assert. That's something that a patient would have to initiate. Now the question then is, why is it not B? Well, the phrasing of this question is a little bit convoluted. It's not made clear whether the patient themselves are a party to this action. It sounds like they're not actually, based on the facts here. As such, it would not be B because the plaintiff here does not appear to have a patient privilege to assert. Instead, it is the patient's lawyer who has that privilege and the ability to assert that privilege within the courtroom. Even though they're not a party to this action, with leave of the court, they can ultimately assert that privilege to preempt this doctor from testifying as to this privileged information by the patient. So be sure to subscribe to this channel for more of these videos. Be sure to check us out at BarcastAudio.com for more materials, everything you can need to pass the bar exam, audio outlines, essay attack sheets, audio flashcards. We have it all over there at Barcast. Until later, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.